Alright everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So in terms of what I want to talk to you guys about is actually going to be this reset Haro Chip store over here. So when February came around, we actually did get another reset of this over here. So I'm not sure if they are trying to make this into like a permanent thing that we can be getting per se. If they are, I think this is a pretty much a good way for us to kind of like more or less reinvest back to our parts instead of like rolling for new parts every day. Because like basically what we have been seeing in terms of the banner, the banner parts, they're pretty much the same thing we have got it in the past already. In terms of like the best part to get is obviously right now the 40% trade. Like we have seen so many iterations throughout, let's say from the release from what is it? Like the first banner unit that we had gotten 40% trade, let's say the double shield quanta, to now we actually seen just multiple of like kind of like replacing the older one. So what I wanted to be talking to you guys about is like what kind of parts you guys should be reinvesting instead of like selling for some new parts. So in terms of this one over here, the 5-star pet tickets, I think this is still a not bad item to be getting. I did make a list of what to kind of get for this one over here. So in terms of like the top two parts that you guys should be getting, I think what I have provided you guys last time around should be sufficient enough. But obviously not everyone is about hitting hard, trying to clear matches like as fast as I can. If you are someone that wants to go for the aesthetic route, that is going to be up to you. I'm not going to suggest what kind of part you should be getting, because in terms of aesthetic stuff, that should be on kind of you, picking what part you guys want to pick. So that is gonna leave that for you guys over there. So in terms of like rather than summoning, simply picking up these over here, like what is it, the skill upgrade knives. I think those are fairly good in terms of kind of upgrading your EX skill, like especially your favorite EX skill, for example. So I'm gonna be giving you guys some kind of recommendation of which one to kind of focus up in terms of like which one you wanna, because there's just so many, right? In terms of like after alteration, most EX skill in terms of classy EX skill does come up to like S power, but in terms of those S power, there's obviously some that are a little bit better in terms of some effects that can be doing. So yeah, but in terms of the trait upgrade pincer, those I will have to say reserve those for, let's say, for the utility part trait, like the one that offer 40% trait boosting, or maybe some that you might want to work on those limited parts that has those EX skill power reduce. No, those are EXP cooldown. I think those are definitely gonna be worth your upgrade. What is it? The trade up pincer as well. And last but not least, we do have the upgrade CPU. So those, I would have to say, if you are able to manage to get like a good build project pilot, I think feeding those in would be a pretty good option. In terms of the awakening circuit to get up to a 7-star, I think this right here, I do have a little bit of like a kind of like a drawback from getting it at the moment, just because of the fact that we are able to get 3 per week within just clearing warfare missions, and just be able to exchange it within the warfare shops. So I think this one right now is still a pretty new item that I will not be getting. So in terms of this video, what I'll be getting a lot of some good resources over here. So let's say I think energy is not even that bad of a pickup, because it's actually gonna be 100 hard chips cheaper than if you were to just manually do it yourself. So I would actually be picking up 300 of this over here. So I think this is definitely a pretty good price anyway. So right now it's going to cost you 30. So that is definitely a really good pickup. So I'm going to be picking these up for sure. And then there'll be awakening circuit. This item is always going to be something that I will need, just because I'm constantly playing arena and just trying to prepare for upcoming arena. So that's why I will need a lot of this to just kind of upgrading parts. So definitely going to be picking this up for sure. So even this week, I don't even want to bother summoning on this banner over here. Like, although like these banner are good, just being able to pick up some new stuff over here, and for say to pick a banner, like I don't know if I want to continue to pick up newer parts in replacement of the older one, because simply what the newer part is doing is just better stat. In terms of overall portrait, I don't think they're anything more significant than what we have gotten already. So I will rather focus up on what I have already, trying to maximize them as much as I can. Maybe portrait level 10, EX skill level 10, and then they should perform well beyond what the newer part, like for example this one over here, like say that's good and all, but if I can invest into one big scale 7-star part, I think that should be pretty good enough. I don't even think I would want to go back into reinvesting more parts, right? So I think that's pretty much the overall idea of like what I want to get you guys into as well. I'm not really like telling you guys you should be doing that, but I think this is probably for the long term, just be able to reinvest to one singular part should be good, because if you are able to get a pretty good foundation, you guys can definitely slap on whatever skin you guys can and just simply enjoy what kind of parts you guys are using, because with the release of skin, that definitely alleviates some of the problem in terms of like, all right, like, you know, I'm pretty sure there's always those banners unit that you want, but in terms of instead of like investing to them, like you already have a good foundation already invested, so simply you get the part and then just put that onto the skin, and then that should be pretty much good to go, right? So that's why those pick a banner, those are good for that respect, where you can just get that specific part you want and you should just kind of call it a thing. So I got that right there. I think eventually I'll actually dip into the 1500 one as well, because I think spending on those is probably cheaper than like chasing for parts in a way. So alright, so I will actually, you know what, I will actually pick up a few of the trade upgrade over and show you guys what I would consider a good for investment and stuff. So alright, so we got 10 of those right there, and I'm down to 10,000 Haro Chips, which is, oh man, that's a little bit under what I want. But in terms of part that I will actually want to upgrade in this video, maybe I'll start things off with my palette. So in terms of overall palettes, I think this one is pretty good for my case, just because this one is offering some EXQ boosting as well. So you know, enemy all power reduced with there. So I think in terms of me, I do want to go for like a fun build. So this is my, you can kind of say my kind of side project right there. So gonna upgrade this one over here, and bam. All right, so these are gonna be good. All right, so in terms of some portrait, like the one that is go for EXQ, some portrait, I think some that you guys should definitely focus up on is something like this over here. Just this one is going to be like a good example for you guys. So this one is going to be the Hakashiki Kai. This one is going to be exclusively for a shooting base build, because this one is going to be offering you a both EXQ power boosting and as well as a shooting power boosting. So I think investing into this one is definitely a good choice, because like if I were able to upgrade everything, these are going to be the stat I'll be looking at. And then this one right now should be closing into maybe like a 39 to like a maybe like a 38 to like a 39 portrait level. So but obviously I'm not going to invest in this part. The one that I want to upgrade in this video is going to be this one over here. So let me, all right, this one is already on my melee build, so let me see. I'm gonna filter by the latest part that I pick up. I think a good pickup for me to get is actually, or just upgrade, is actually gonna be the GM Buster Sword 3. So this one is gonna be the XM Riser Dual Saber, if you will, you wanna call it that. I wanna upgrade this one specifically because of the buff EXQ effects over here. I'm pretty sure I have explained this to you guys many times already. So this one is gonna be really good, where you have a build that is consists of so many EXQ, or 3 EXQ to be exact, that is able to generate like a self buffing. So when your EXQ does have a self buffing, these three apply, so whatever you have right here will actually add up. So in terms of this build, I have exclusively right here, you guys can see some portrait that I have. Let's say buff EXQ effect by 30%, this one up by 29%. So let's say this one is already 30%, so we're getting up to 60%. This one over here is 20%, so we're up to 80% already. And then last one at least, we got the Kaso Shield, so we're up to 110 buffing to whatever EXQ we can be using. So that's why I think investing into those are extremely powerful. So if I were to consider let's say the Gene Sword 3, the Buster Sword 3 over here, we can be looking at roughly about 140%. So you know, so that's why all in all, I think this one is definitely going to be a very good investment that I won't mind going into. So bam, I think I'm just gonna go for this right now. I think it's not too bad. I think right now we should be looking at 23% buff effect, so that's not too bad, but definitely still a long way to go. So that is what I will be upgrading in terms of this one over here. So these are more or less like some of the portrait that I would say, these are good for kind of all in for your stuff right there. Some other one, you know, just for a quick reference for you guys, so it's simply going to be like the Cosmo Shield. I think the Cosmo Shield is still one of the better shields to be looking at. After alteration, prior to alteration is still not going to be like that good, because the buff EXQ effects I think is just really powerful. So this one, with this one you can actually exchange it down over here. So if you guys want, you know, exchange for more, I think it's definitely going to be powers in your hand. So this one you are still able to pick it up with the faster pick tickets currently. So it's going to be this one and this one. So this is definitely not going to be a bad pickup for sure. This is actually going to be a W pickup per se. And you know, the for example, this week, right? This week we have this banner over here, this one right here. You guys can definitely summon up to step 4, and then potentially use that L badge to exchange for the the specific L badges for that shit right there. So that if you want to do that, but if you guys have already some other parts in your mind, definitely go for those instead. But yeah, I think those are generally what I would kind of consider upgrading. And in terms of some EX skill that you guys should be focusing, let's say I'm just gonna exclusively target the Kasi EX skill, like the one that has extremely long cooldown. I think some that you want to consider, let's say going invest into, is probably ones that will give you a lot of effects. Some that will probably provide you with a lot of utility base, healing, attack buffering, or maybe sometimes they offer you some some speed increase per se. I think some that I have in mind already is actually going to be this one over here. I'm gonna go back to the XM Riser backpack over here. I think this one is not bad of a choice right here. For one, this EX skill is already coming in at S- power, so base level 1 you're getting some S- power. This is already amazing. Some of the features that this one actually comes with, like, look at this over here. You get some speed increase, health recovery, as well as a 40% buffing to your overall squad. So these is like really good, I don't think there's any other like ones that I would even invest into, right? I think this one is too powerful for say. So this one is definitely a very big for say, and then at max level 10 you are going to be looking at a flat out SS power. So this one is definitely going to hit like a truck at the end of the day. But I think one of the main drawbacks of this one, I will have to say, is that the animation wise is extremely long. So I don't know how much the in terms of these effects, I don't know how long they were able to carry on to the next EX skill, for example, but I'm pretty sure as you do go up in terms of EX skill level, the duration of these buffs should increase as well. I think that's how they work. So I think long term investing into something like this is going to be extremely valuable to your inventory. So I think some other one you can be looking at, so this one is only going to be shot or melee specifically. I think some other one, I don't know what else is actually good. I think some other good ones to maybe deep into, let's say invest into maybe some EX skill that does not actually come with maybe awakening, because the exchange strike, that one is awakenable EX skill. So in terms of chaining that to some other awakenable EX skill, that may not be like the best case scenario depending on how your playstyle is. Me personally, I don't like that direction, like having 2 awakening. So what I have already in this build, I have myself the Raven Gundam final type, the final battle type. This one is actually a non-awakenable EX skill, so this one is definitely a very good investment. We can look at what kind of effects we're looking at. So we're getting a 25% speed increase as well as a 39. So at max out we should be looking at 39. Although this one is not really offering you that generous, let's say health recovery per se, but this one is definitely going to be offering some Rooney capacity up by 25%. So that is definitely going to be a very good, ideally for just for it, definitely a really good gimmick, allowing you to boost a little bit more. So this one I don't mind actually investing into one more nipper to it to get this up to EX skill level 8. So this is definitely not a bad investment, and the overall stat, I think this one is very much satisfiable. So yeah, this one is definitely good for a melee arm specifically. I think right now this one having it at 7 stars should hold up pretty good. I think eventually what I will be doing, I will definitely be replacing this one, because the XM Riser one is definitely the next up to be looking at. This one is going to be offering you that this one is going to be offering you, what is it, like a 40% trait. So that's why this one is good. So ideally what you want to do, you want to see if you guys have something along the line, like see for a shooting build and melee build, to see if you guys have like the targeted part. So for melee build, you want to have some really good arms. So if you have these, for example, definitely upgrade into those. And then you want to see if you have some good melee weapons. So I have some really good melee weapons already, so that's why I might be dumping into some resources into it. And in terms of shooting build, you want to target your let me go over here. So in terms of shooting build, you want to target the head part as well as the range weapon. So those are definitely going to be your top 2 parts to be kind of dumping into your resources first, and then you can slowly work on your other part. So what that means that is pretty much what I want to kind of discuss with you guys over here. I think simply investing into parts that you pre-existently have instead of like summoning every week should be a pretty good way to kind of like get your build going on, and just being able to hit a little bit harder, because eventually, you know, portrait is probably the most important thing you guys should be looking at, because like all these numbers, it's gonna hit a lot more harder than a brand new fresh part that is gonna be sitting at a base level 25% buff, 25% portrait. So I think that is definitely going to be something you guys can take away from this video. So with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one.